So we're down in Salt Lake City today and chasing something a little different. Got a couple cars we're picking up today. I'll show you the first one. Got this little 411 station wagon. Pretty complete little car. And then over here in the shop, I got this guy. Pretty clean little 64 Type 34 Ghia. This is the first one of these I've ever found sitting in a garage or shop space like this. These cars were never imported to the States. So most of them that are here were brought over by like service members, military, or collectors. This one is pretty complete. We'll get it outside in the light and show you a little better. Pretty rust free, like it's got just a little bit, a few little bubbles down here low, rockers, rear wheel wells, lips. Pretty straight other than just this one little dent on the nose here. Kind of hoping we can get this thing home and get it fired up. We have no idea when it last ran. In fact, the family that we're purchasing it from didn't even know that their father had it until they were over here going through the shop and found it sitting in the corner. And yeah, so it's kind of a mystery as to when it last ran and or if it even runs. So in addition to this this little car, we've got several shelves here of odds and ends. Got a couple of cases. Looks like a 66, 67 wide 5 down there and some 4-lug wheels. Some miscellaneous radios, stacks of hubcaps, quite a few hubcaps. Few heads, some glass, maybe some square back pop outs, bug rear windows, some intakes, speedos, just kind of a little bit of everything. So we're gonna get this stuff all pulled out of here and get it loaded up. When we get this car out in the light, we'll give you a little better look at it. Let's go back and we'll see if we can get a run at it. Think we can get a run? I don't know if you can get a roller, is it?
Boards in the right place?
Good. Okay.
Ready?
Lots of beans. Okay. All right, hold on a sec. Will it stay right there? Maybe. Block the tire. I can bring my
Power Warrior. Oh yeah, piece of cake.
That makes life easy.
Much better.
Yeah.
Try to go this way just a little bit more. Okay. Okay.
You shooting for the pads?
Yeah. Okay. Right there.
That's not so bad, huh?
It's about a foot shorter and about a foot narrower.
Oh yeah, we're pushed over to this side a little bit, huh?
Well, I got straps that just go to here, so
Oh,
I gotta
yeah,
strap
gotcha.
the tire.
Cool.
Well, I can get Carl's disclaimer again. This stuff might be unreal. And Travis probably stuck. Are those ramps in here? Okay, perfect. That's the other thing I thought I left was my tape gun. So maybe just
Doors somewhere?
yeah, we can set those. We can just set those right here for a minute. That's all this stuff's gonna have to kind of come out. And we'll just put everything right here for a minute, just right kind of in front of the paint booth.
Can I move against the door?
Yeah, that's perfect. Empty box. Take the tires at the back. Oh man.
See where we're going?
We lined up?
Looks like it. No. Kind of.
It is not a good roll. Such a funny little car. It's first for this shop. Having one of these in here. That door needs a little love.
You can see.
Needs an adjustment. if yeah, release that door latch on the inside and see if it'll. There we go. I don't think this latch out here works. Yeah, this isn't working out here. No worky. Okay, so I got the Ghia all cleaned up. Actually, I haven't really cleaned inside here yet, just washed it. Paint is probably an older respray from the 80s, I would guess. Original paint looks like white. At least that's what's showing up underneath the hood. It's got this little bump in the nose, and you can obviously see some body filler there. Not too bad a shape. This side's got some bumps and bruises all down. Looks like stuff's been dragged down the side of it a time or two. Engine's all there. One thing I did notice is that, I don't know if you can see that, but the carbs are both locked up. So I ordered I ordered 2 carb kits for it today from Ken at Pacific, and those will hopefully be here Friday, so I'll get those yanked off and soaking, and then we can get the kits put in on Friday, Saturday maybe. This weekend's the last weekend of Yellowstone, so I'm planning on taking off at least Sunday, if not Saturday and Sunday, and going to Yellowstone. So that might be able to get this thing rolling, or at least fired up by the weekend. I've got the wheels and tires off right now. Went down and had new tires put on today. We'll go up and I'll show you guys the rust situation. These cars, I'm sure, like, you know, regular Ghias, are prone to rust. They kind of have their areas where they have some rust issues. This car, I don't know very much about them, but from what I can tell, looks pretty dry. So on each side of the car, here in the front part of the rocker, here's this side. Not too bad. Couple of bubbles in the back right here. Driver's side, a little worse, but still not bad. Pretty solid. Missing the side marker, the left blinker. I found the housing to it inside the trunk or the boot. The lens itself is missing, but I found a set of those on the Samba for, I think it was 110 euro, maybe 150 euro. Let me go grab a flashlight real quick. So you can see up in here, we're leaking out of the bottom of the tank. I actually just called in and ordered this, the strainer and the new, basically the little repair kit, seal kit for that. So I got a light here so we can see a little better. Up in here, I mean, I would imagine this is a problem area for rust. I know it is on the Beetles. Really not seeing As far as rot goes on this car, I mean, it's pretty solid. Other than, it's really just these rockers, just the outer rockers. Walk around here. Got a little bubble in here. Maybe just a teeny little bit of rust right there. This rear pan's bent. This side's a lot cleaner. Does have a little, you know, right around this edge, just a couple little bubbles. Here's the pan right underneath the battery. I mean, not anything. Pan's got a couple little, you know, a little dent or two in it, but the pans are just really solid. Here again, we can see that fuel leakage. I'm just gonna yank that tank. Get that cleaned up real good. So yeah, the immediate plan is carb rebuild, adjust the valves, and see if it'll fire. I think everything on the engine is there. Looks pretty complete. The guy who owned this, from what I could tell, was very meticulous about everything. The documentation his daughter had was amazing on all the different cars that he owned. Everything just kind of in a spreadsheet, and just really cool how organized he was. And yeah, most of his stuff was, or at least the stuff I saw, was pretty clean. This one's obviously been sitting for a minute. One thing that was kind of interesting is there was not any oil in this car. I mean, when I pulled the drain, I actually went to drain it and got not even a drop out of it. There was a big slick on the floor though, so I'm guessing that probably must have had just a really good oil leak around the sump, around the drain plug or something, and just spit it all out on the ground. So first things first, I'm gonna get all this air cleaner stuff pulled out of here and see if we can break these carbs loose, and then we'll see if we can light it up. All right, guys, so have a look and see what I mean by frozen up. I mean, these things, this linkage will not move at all. Completely frozen. I mean, it'd be cool to just fill them up with a little bit of fuel and see if this thing would fire, but I think probably the best thing to do is yank them off, go through them, and see if we can get these things to run decent. So that's what I'm gonna do next. I kind of started tearing them down, just pulling all the junk off of them. Look at this fuel line. Just give you an idea how long. This thing's been sitting. I mean, that fuel line is done. It's just rock hard. So, probably need to do something here too. So the way this was set was we had this guy in here, like so, this T, and I'm not positive. This looks like we're missing a bolt down here somewhere. I'm gonna do a little research and see exactly where that goes. But then this, it should be hardline, like at least, that one actually bends. So this should be hardline going here, out through here. So we'll make up a piece of hardline to come into the T, and then we'll tee off of there to the carburetors. So yeah, obviously we're gonna redo all that fuel line, and kind of tidy all that up as we're doing the carburetors. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut you off while I pull these carbs off. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, just 13 millimeter on each side, and then we can pull these carbs off and take a look. Okay guys, it's been a week or so since my last, I guess since I was recording last. And since then, I have actually sent both carburetors out to, if you remember, they were, well, you'll remember because it was just a couple seconds ago in this video, but they were frozen up pretty good. So I took them down to BlackLine Racing, a shop that just moved up here from Salt Lake City. They're now in Blackfoot. I'll put their contact info in the description. And they did a great job on these carbs. They're a lot better set up and a lot more knowledgeable than I am in rebuilding these things. And just given as gummed up as they were and everything, I decided to send them off to them and have them built, or rebuilt. So I've got the linkages all kind of done. I think I've got it pretty well adjusted. I haven't actually tightened it all yet. I need to go around and snug it up, but I figured it's probably snugged up enough to at least, at least test fire this thing. Got the trusty auxiliary fuel tank here. What I've done is I ran it into the fuel pump, and then this is just, I know this is a no-no, this is not where we want our filter. You can tell this is all just, this is temporary. This is just for test firing it right now. I did change the oil. I did not adjust the valves, but I checked them, and they all felt pretty good. Replaced the valve cover. The valve cover gaskets were leaking like crazy, so I put new valve cover gaskets in it. We do have power at the coil. Got a new 6-volt battery in it. Right now, let me double check. Yeah, right now we don't, the key is off. And let me get some different light here. All right, so right now, if you notice the filter, I put this filter on here so we're not getting any gunk into our brand new clean carburetors. Even, just picking something up that was maybe in the fuel pump or in my really high-tech Mountain Dew auxiliary tank. Been running all my cars on Mountain Dew lately because it's cheaper than gas. Seems to work okay. Not really, but So let's watch our fuel filter, or our filter here. So we're pumping fuel, which means we're filling carbs. I actually don't. So this is the T that was on this motor, and I've been looking. I'm trying to find a good spot to mount that. Not real familiar with Type 3s, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research. I'm not sure yet where that's supposed to go. Guessing probably, you know, somewhere in this area. Like I say, I gotta do some research. I don't even know if that's an original T. So if you're familiar with these, comment below and let me know where the heck that guy goes. But we're gonna run, once I get the tank all cleaned out, we're gonna run metal fuel line into here, and then we'll put this T wherever it needs to be, and we'll get the fuel lines all ran. But right now, this is just temporary. This is just for firing this thing up right now. So I'm going to grab a fire extinguisher, because that's always a good idea to have handy. And then we're gonna turn the key on and crank on this thing and see what it does. I haven't done anything with the distributor yet. I haven't done anything with the plug wires or plugs. All that's as this thing was found. Trying to do as little as possible. You know, right now initially, just to see if we can get this thing to fire up kind of in its as found condition. I mean, obviously we've completely gone through the carbs. And other than that, though, that and changing the oil and the valve cover gaskets, this thing is pretty much as found. One thing I did notice on the passenger side head is the front head stud. It's actually broke off, like somebody over tightened it and snapped it off, which is kind of crazy because I think they're really not supposed to be torqued down that tight. So ultimately this engine's going to have to come out, and we're going to have to pull the head, at least this head, change that stud, and when we do that, we'll probably clean everything up and make everything nice and pretty. But for tonight, we're just trying to get it to fire. I'll be right back. Okay guys, key is on. We have our fire extinguisher complete with one of our handy dandy honk if I'm on fire bumper stickers. You can find those at Volkswagen.com. Ought to head over and grab yourself a couple. Support my daughters and their little shop that they've got. I think we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm gonna go ahead and just crank on this for a minute, see if we get any attempt to fire. All right. Oh, that's always, I don't know. I can't explain the feeling. It's just when it first starts to pop, especially when you've had one. Again, let me just remind you guys, 1983 is the last time this thing was registered. And then if you wander over here to the windshield, the last safety inspection it had down in Utah was 1982. And here with just a simple carb rebuild, not simple, it was simple for me because I just dropped them off, but with a carb rebuild, some new fuel, looks like this thing's gonna run. Let's give it a try. All right, here we go. Let's obviously we got fuel pumping into the carbs. Give it a couple of squirts there. I wish I had just popped linkage off. I wish I had an extra set of hands here, but couldn't get a hold of the girls to come over and help me out, so I'm soloing it one-handed. Oh, it wants to go. It's gonna go. Should probably hold the throttle wide open. Come on. Almost. Oh, man. I'm gonna have to open a door here in a minute. Getting a little smoky in here. See that plug wire right there? And we're getting kind of a goofy sound over on this side. I don't know, listen to this. I think that plug's loose. I'm gonna go shut it off and woo! Smoky! Oh, probably gonna have to get some ventilation in here. All right, I'm gonna shut the camera off for a minute. I'm gonna pull this plug wire off. I think, oh, you see that moving around? I think we got a loose plug right there. I probably should have checked all those first, but like I said, I wanted to just try it kind of as found. So I'm going to carefully pull this brittle plug wire off, tighten up that plug, and then we'll fire it up again. Okay guys, sure enough, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on video. Maybe you can hear it. See that? So that noise we were hearing on this side is a loose plug. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to tighten them all up. Since this one's loose, we'll just check them all and then we'll fire it up again. Okay guys, check this out. How loose was our plug? About this loose. A little on the loose side. All right, I'm gonna shut you off for a minute while I tighten the rest of them, but that's where our exhaust leak on this side of the engine was coming from. I wish I would have tightened up the rest of these while I had the crossover pipe out. Put new rubber on these. Thanks Don for the suggestion. My buddy Don was over here the other day checking this out, and you know, I mean, I probably would have caught it, but it probably would have been too late, and the rubber was pretty crusty. Wish I would have just done the plugs while I had that all out, but I'll tighten them up real quick. Be back in a minute. Okay, the other three were all tight. This one actually snugged up pretty good. Sometimes when those are loose, you worry that maybe they'd be stripped out or they pulled out, but that one tightened up nice. So let me go hit the key again. Should sound much better now. Let's give her a whirl. Take two. Alright, I really need to free up a hand here. Let me swap to a different mount. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see, keys on. Oop. Well guys, I'm gonna call this part 1, and I'm gonna call it a night. It's actually Friday night, a little after 8, so I'm heading home for the night. even after tightening up that plug, I still got an exhaust leak over here. And like I mentioned a bit ago, the stud on the front of this passenger side head is broken. And the nuts just gone. I mean, it's like they twisted it off. So I think that exhaust leak is got something to do with that. So I think the best thing, I also have a little bit of an oil leak coming down the back of the motor. It's probably a really rock hard, crusty rear main seal. So as much as I wanted to like drive this car without yanking the motor, I think I've got brake parts coming for it, so we're going to do brakes and then hopefully be driving it. But I think probably what I really need to do is I need to yank this motor out, and as long as we have it out, we'll just reseal everything. Oil cooler seals, rear main seal, output shaft for the transmission, pushrod tube seals, pushrod tubes, address whatever issues we have going on over here. But that's going to be for another video, because I've got 2 other cars ahead of this right now, collision repairs that I need to get done. And so probably going to take a couple weeks off of this car and get those other 2 collision jobs done. And then we'll get back to this on part 2. But this is pretty cool, you know. 1983 was the last time this bad boy ran. And at least as far as we know, we can speculate, I guess. Hard to say why it was parked. Might be something to do with what we got going on over here, the oil leak, who knows. But 83 was the last time it was registered. And the family that we got it from didn't even really know Dad had it. As far as I know, they were going through. Dad was a huge collector, had tons of cars. And it was pretty cool when we picked this thing up. As I was talking with the daughter, and she pulls out these spreadsheets of all the cars and all the titles. And Dad was super organized. We got a lot of parts out of his shop. Super organized shop. But they didn't know that Dad had this car. They didn't ever remember him driving this car. And so we really don't know when it last ran. But it's safe to say it's been a while. So we're going to call this part 1 of the Type 34 rescue. When I get ready to yank all this out, and I think what we'll freshen up the tins. Just kind of do a quickie engine bay detail job. There's definitely a few things in there that need to be freshened up while we're doing that. And that way, it's right when we get it running, driving. We're not leaking oil, or at least not leaking massive oil. We're probably still going to be leaking a little bit of oil. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Part 1 of the Type 34 barn find, shop find, whatever you want to call it, find. Pretty neat little car. I'll get, when we get going again on it, we'll shoot some more video, and we'll do part 2, 3, however many parts we need to, until this thing's burning down the road. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later.